Dream Young Media Live. Like, comment, subscribe. Dream Young Media Live. Like, comment, subscribe. Today on the Dream Young Effect podcast, we have Ann Chiappetta. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one, so check it out. And we heard some very good things about you. And we're very impressed with the things that you do and some of the challenges that you've had and how you've overcome those challenges. So tell us a little bit about your history, and then we can kind of get into the author side of what you do.
Sure. I'm married. I live in New York. I have 2 adult kids, and I actually just retired from working as a trauma counselor for the VA. So now I'm pursuing, writing and all that fun stuff you do after you retire.
So you went blind in 1993. I'm hoping I'm getting that correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I have retinitis pigmentosa, which is a genetic eye disease. It has no cure. So I was born with it. I have a what they call a double recessive genetic gene. So it didn't come on until I was older, and it got hidden behind my other eye problems. I grew up very nearsighted. I had very thick, heavy glasses.
That's me.
From the time I was 4, I had glasses. We went to a parochial school back then, a Catholic school, and the nuns thought I was stupid because I could never read the board because I was so far away from it. And then my parents finally dug in and said, well, we're going to, we know our daughter's not stupid. And that's when I got I went to this specialist, and he took these pictures of my eyes, and they came back saying, back then, it was in the early 70s, there was no name for what I had. I just had really bad vision. And but wow. I had all the classic signs and symptoms of RP. And it wasn't until when I was 14, I was learning how to drive. And I almost crashed the car. The driver's ed instructor wasn't very happy because I didn't see something. And he was like, what is your problem? Anyway, so I didn't see the big orange flag in front of my face. That's, on the side of my vision, like, my peripheral vision is really bad. So I never drove. So then I started just, doing the public transportation thing and riding my bike and all that. And then when I was in New York and I met my husband, and I was working and doing the regular stuff that everybody does, I started noticing some problems, but I ignored them because they were just little problems, but by then I was like night blind. If I went out at night and I didn't have a flashlight, it was like somebody just pulled the shades over my eyes. And it was really scary, and I got got really afraid to go out at night. I think that's when all that anxiety started about losing my vision. And then when I had my son, I wanted to go back to work, and I was doing like designing lucite furniture and doing sketches and that kind of stuff, and I couldn't see the pencil drawings anymore. And I was holding things up really close to my face, and that wasn't helping. I couldn't see the calculator numbers, on the calculator on my desk, those kinds of things. And I finally decided to go to a specialist, and he diagnosed me with RP. And then that's when the Commission for the Blind came in and helped me. And it took about 10 years for me to really get my life back together to a point that I felt confident, go back to work, and pursue the things that I had put off because I was going blind.
Yeah.
So,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine, wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But you seem to be coping very well. You took it in stride, and you're making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah. Well,
congratulations.
Thank you. But there was about a year or so where I was just so depressed and so isolated, and I just felt like I couldn't cope. And there were people there to help me pull out of that. And if it wasn't for those people, I don't know where I'd be today. So I had help. I had caring people to help me out. And that's like the point. Anybody going through any type of process like me, similar, whether it's vision loss or hearing loss or whatever, get help. Find people to help because they're there.
Yeah.
And what is the name of the organization again, Ann, that assisted you?
The Commission for the Blind and the Visually Impaired in New York State. It's like Department of the Children and Family Services Division,
Okay.
and they're specially trained to help people with visual impairments to access resources and finances to help you live a productive life.
Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful. And I think that's going to help. And I think your story is going to help a lot of people. And so thanks for sharing that aspect of your life, because I think that was critical to really know where you're at today. Tell us a little bit more about your writing and why you became an author, and then tell us about some of your projects.
Sure. Well, my writing was always part of me. Like I said, I was very creative, and the visual arts. Before I lost my vision, I was into visual art. I painted, I sketched. I loved going to the museum, and I had enough vision back then to really be wowed by all that. So I was really into all that, graphic novels, all that stuff, and that's what kind of got me, kind of started. And then when I lost my vision, I used my poetry and my writing to help me cope. It was a way for me to externalize the problems I was having coping, or feeling lost, or that sense of just, I wanted to get those feelings out of me because they were hurting me. So so I started writing poetry, and then when I was in college, I did a lot of English classes along with the psychology classes I took, and my professors really liked what I wrote. So I had mentors along the way, and it just kind of built upon itself. And then one day I started sending my poetry out to these little poetry reviews, the little chapbook people that, they print stuff and fold it and staple it and they call it a book.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was doing. Right. But they liked my stuff. So I kept sending it, and I kept getting better, and I took more classes. And when I was in college and graduate school, I did a lot of professional writing. As a marriage and family therapist, we had to learn how to write for the profession. And I didn't like that very much because it was very dry, and it was just like la 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 la. But I like the creative stuff. So, and that's how it started. So I kept all my poetry, and I just kept building a collection. And I thought about, one day, maybe I'll get into a book or blah blah blah. And then after college, I think after I realized I didn't want to write for the professional part, the clinical part. I mean, I didn't mind writing my notes and doing essays once in a while and stuff, but that just wasn't me. So I decided I wanted to start a blog, and so I started a blog, and I got a lot of interest when I got my first guide dog, and I started writing about my life with my first guide dog, and that is how it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Good.
And so how many books are you in now? Are you on your first, second, third, what?
Fifth.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
just finished a novel. My 4th audiobook is up on audible.com, and it's called Words of Life, Poems and Essays. And I'm a narrator and the writer. So it's my first dual.
Wow.
Multi-talented.
It's fun. It's fun, and it really satisfies that part of my creativity that keeps me grounded and keeps me going.
Yeah, I think that's great. I've been trying to write a book for years now. I know how hard it is, and it takes a lot of brain power and self-motivation to actually sit down and get it done.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that.
And just in general, just being creative is an outlet for a lot of people. Like, it's an outlet for me as well. I'm just into the music side of things. I love creating music in my spare time. And cool. It's just an outlet. It's a form of therapy, and it's a good. If you happen to make money doing it, or if you happen to actually publish things and you share them with the world, that's even better.
Yep,
that's even better. When you can take your art and share with the masses, that's awesome.
That's exactly, you said it. I want to share. I mean, if I make money from it, great. But my point is to make connections with others through my writing. That's the one thing that I can leave in this world after I'm gone in my writing, then I've accomplished something, that's, so.
I agree.
That's important.
I agree.
Important to leave a legacy of some type of legacy on this planet, to say that you walked the earth, that you've been here. So I agree with that mindset.
And what is the name of your last book? So the most recent book.
The most recent book, let me go through them all. So,
okay. Yeah.
So there's Upwelling Poems. That's 2016. And that's, they're all available at Amazon and on Audible and all that. And then there's Follow Your Dog, A Story of Love and Trust. That's my memoir. And then there's Words of Life, Poems and Essays, and a short story collection called A String of Stories from the Heart to the Future. And then the new book, the title is called Hope for the Tarnished, and it's a novel, a coming of age novel. So
nice. Okay. Now, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you would like to express? The floor is yours. To kind of tell our viewers, whatever you would like them to know.
I think going back to the disability thing, especially if I know there are a lot of people my age and older that may be experiencing vision loss later in life, and I was 28, so I was still young, or on the young spectrum, younger, and I was able to adapt pretty well. But in my work with other blind people, especially older adults, I think it's really important that we try to reach out to them and give them the tools that they can identify with, and they may not be technology savvy. So, simple things sometimes really help. And I think it's really important to be their coaches, and say, hey, and show them, that, it's as simple as putting a rubber band around a ketchup bottle, and it's the ketchup. Right? So wherever, meet people wherever they need to be met, and just go with it. And I think that's really important. And
that's great.
And young people too. I mean, they need to be prepared, especially if they've been visually impaired since they were young. I think it's just important to help each other and coach each other through. And so
that's great. That's great. Yeah. And so I want you to plug your website a little bit and plug any social media platforms that you're currently on, so people can get in touch with you.
Sure. My website is AnnSchiappetta.com, and you spell my name AnnChiappetta. I have a blog called thought-wheel.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Annie Chiappetta, and on Twitter, I'm Annie Dungarees.
And dungarees, how do you spell that?
It's Dungarees. Yeah, that's an old name for a pair of jeans.
I was about to say, I haven't heard the word dungarees since I was a jit.
Yeah, dungarees. I remember that.
It's denim. Isn't dungarees denim jeans?
Yes. Denim pants, yeah.
We're telling our age. All right.
Me too. I'm like, that's what we used to call them.
Yeah. Dungarees, yeah. So Ann, you just we would like to thank you for being on the Dream Young Effect podcast. Once again, we truly appreciate your time, everything that you're doing out in the community, or the people that you assist, with the books that impact other people's lives in a positive way. We just thank you for being a guest today on the Dream Young Effect podcast.
You've just watched the Dream Young Effect podcast. And I just want to let you know, we want to thank you for all of your comments. We want to thank you for your likes. And we definitely want to thank all of our subscribers, and people who haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. If you want to donate, we appreciate any donation. And we are a 501c3, so it is a non-taxable donation.